Hey y'all, this is a new kind of YouTube video. It's a COVID times video. I've been wanting to have a conversation with my good friend Michele, and we thought this would be the best way to do it so we don't have to wait like 2 more years for a side-by-side in-person conversation. So Michele has been one of my biggest supporters throughout my whole transition. I thought it'd be really cool to ask her some questions and get her side of the story because there's a lot that I can't remember from the beginning, and she has been there for all the big parts. So, Michele, if you want to introduce yourself a little, and then we can jump into my questions.
Sure. Well, like Liam said, I'm Michele. I met Liam at the college at Keene State College. I work there, and Liam was a student there, and used to hang out outside of my office, I think,
Did
right?
all my homework. I used to do my homework outside her office, and I'd always roll my chair around the corner and talk, and then roll my chair back around.
That's it, yeah.
The candy.
Just became friends, and then I think, is that how, I don't even remember. You started working for Eric, my husband.
The following year. It was
right after you had
a year after transition started. So what we first originally met on my very first Holocaust trip. Remember, I had my crutch, my peg crutch. But I didn't know you at all. I just knew you were the coordinator, and I was the student with a crutch who crutched all the way up the Lincoln Memorial. And then you're like, there's an elevator, and I was like,
right.
Oh.
Wow. Alrighty then.
That's all I remember from. But I feel like I just remember thinking you were so cool, and I was like, I just want to hang out. I'm just gonna hang out. Once they rearranged the Cohen Center so you could do your homework there, I was like, oh, this is a good spot. So
there you go.
We'll jump into my questions.
Okay.
I don't remember my coming out to you, so this will be interesting. I just can't. I was trying so hard. Like, I don't even. I remember when it was. I know it was after the Holocaust trip that year because that was like, I was like, I need to just come out publicly, but I want to tell certain people, and I was nervous to tell you. But do you remember me coming out to you, and what did you think?
I do remember. Do you want me to tell you the story?
Yes, I do, because I just cannot remember it.
So I think it was towards the end of the day. You were sitting, you had been sitting outside of the office, and you were like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. And I was like,
did it in person. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I said, do you want to come in the office? And I think you said, no, we could talk out in that little area. There wasn't anybody around. It was, after hours, because I usually stayed a little bit later. Everybody else had left at that point. And so I don't remember exactly what you said, but I think you said something along the lines of, I think I'm trans or something along those lines, and said, that you were moving towards using male pronouns, or that you were going to live your life as a man or something like that. Something along those lines. Yeah. And I remember going, so you want me to use male pronouns? And you were like, yep. And I was like, okay.
I don't even know if I had picked a name. I think I had picked my name.
You had picked a name, because I think you told me what the name was.
Yeah,
and
I think so.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, that was that, and I think I asked you about how you wanted other people in the department to know.
Oh, I think that, yes. Because then you're like, do you want me to tell like Paul and I just called him Paul. That was weird. Dr. Vincent, Dr. Waller, all of them. And I was like, please. And Dr. Knight, I think you told Hank too. So.
Yep. So,
I don't even know how to start a conversation with them. So.
But funnily enough, when you were because you had class with Alexis.
I had 3 classes with her.
And so she knew.
Yeah, because I think I had come out to her before you. Because I wanted. I can't. The timeline is like.
So you told me I was one of the last people that you told.
I was, because I told all the people I was scared to tell last. Like you and my sister and then my parents. I was like the last one. So I was like, I don't know how they're going to react, and I'm scared of not having them. So I just didn't know, because we didn't know each other super well then.
Right.
It was just a very like casual acquaintance thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. I mean, you're older than me, so I don't know where you're at. And all the people I knew that were in your age bracket had been negative. So I was
Right.
like, I'm really scared of talking to her. So,
Yep.
um, yeah.
No, and I
I know.
remember being like super flattered that you considered telling me about it,
Yeah.
because we didn't have that. I mean, I knew we were going to be friendly,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that it was going to be like such a strong connection that we had. So I remember
Yeah.
just being super like, oh, flattered that like
Yeah.
thought to come out to me rather than me finding out,
Yeah. Because I made sure to tell like people that I wanted to know without finding out on Facebook. I told them all ahead of time before I made the
Yeah.
Facebook post. So yeah, because like our friendship really started like after I graduated and I started coming by all summer long and stuff. So
Yeah.
at that point it was very much like I didn't know one way or the other how you would feel. So
Yeah.
I
So
didn't even, I'm so surprised I was like doing a lot of like text coming out because I was too afraid of the in-person coming out. So I'm impressed with myself that
right.
I actually told you in person. I think I vaguely remember sitting outside the office having the conversation. It's so hard to remember because I told like for you it was like you had one experience of me coming out to you. For me, I told like so many people. I'm like I can't remember
You had a lot of people.
how
Right.
each
Right.
interaction went anymore. I mean, I know they were all positive. That's why they don't stick out. But it's
Yeah.
hard to remember who I told with a text and who I told with in person. So, and
It had
it
to
was
have been, I was trying to remember when it was. It had to have been because it was after the trip, so it had to have been like at the end of March or the beginning of April.
no because I came out on Facebook on March 7th. It was literally like the few days after the trip because I'd come out to my parents. I think I came out to my parents. I came out to Kat on that trip because we were roommates, and I knew I wanted her to know before, and she was so excited. And she was the one. She's like, "You have to tell Michelle," and I was like, "But I'm so scared of telling Michelle." She's like, "It's gonna be fine. What are you doing?" So, and like that, it was really that trip where it was like pretty much everyone I was friends with knew, but then like everyone else was still saying Kayla, and I was like, I need to just like, I can't live this like two-sided thing anymore. It's too hard.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I have to tell Michelle before I tell Facebook. I don't even know if we were Facebook friends then. Were we Facebook friends then? Let's
So
look back on our Facebook
I know, but my rule is not to. I don't request
until after graduation.
Yeah, well, I would never request a student.
Oh,
If you want to
yeah.
be friends with me, you can request me. And I think I've had that conversation with people before, especially if I have a connection with them or they
I
hang
think
out.
that you might have been because didn't you and somebody else like you and Natasha like hacked my Facebook status once when I went to the bathroom or something. You were like Liam again. I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't you. I can't remember.
I don't know.
I feel like we might have been because I was like, I don't want her to find out on Facebook. I don't know. It's all a blur, like I said. So I'm glad
That was
you
a long
remember because I'm literally like, I don't remember. Don't remember at all. So I knew it was after that trip though, because that was like my like, okay, this has to happen because I can't do
Yeah.
this. So okay. What's been the biggest change you've seen in me over the last 4 years? Or changes? I know that's like a very big question.
Ooh. I think watching you gain your confidence has been you it's hard to describe. It's hard to put into words like how like once you've made that change in your mind that this is how you want to live and then being able to live the way that is truly you come it's such an interesting thing coming out, right? That term coming out because you not only you gain this whole confidence. Like I watched you shed a lot of old stuff to be able to live the life that you have now and just how much you're just more comfortable in your own skin and in your world. And that's really cool to be on the outside and watching that happen. I'm sure parts of it were extremely painful.
Oh yeah.
Especially
anything before top surgery, yeah.
Well, and to let go of a lot of that old stuff, but you have been able to let it go, and that's amazing to me, to just sort of like, nope, I'm not carrying that around anymore. That's old and I don't need it. And so you've been able to let that go, and that's a huge change because it's allowed you to to be more comfortable and to live your life now, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you even remember me at all, like before transition, like before we
Oh,
were,
yeah.
do you like, what was your, not opinion, but like, I don't know, assessment? Was I just like a miserable person? I don't even remember any of our interactions really too much. Were you just
No,
like, oh, this person is just kind of like, nah.
no, I don't know, but it's hard to explain, but you didn't laugh. You know what I mean? You didn't have like your sense of humor and that lightness that you have about you now wasn't there, right? Or it was there, but it was down lower.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It
It came
wasn't.
out very rarely.
It wasn't that. Yeah, it wasn't that it wasn't there. It's that it wasn't. You suppressed a lot of it because that's how you were living your life. I mean, you were suppressing a lot of stuff, you know? And so it's to watch that like I said, that heaviness, you keep shedding all that heaviness, and now you live life in a lighter kind of a
Totally.
place. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So what was your experience like watching me go through top surgery? Because for the record, Michele let me stay at their house, drove me to surgery, took care of me, you know, changed my bandages and tied my shoes and put my socks on and all that. So she was my care person throughout the whole experience. So what was that like for you on your side of it?
What was it like? Well, I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, because I don't have children, I have that mothering instinct of like,
I was like, this is the only time you can mother me. That's what I said to you. This is the only time. Please tie my shoe for me.
Yeah. So I mean, I that wanting to take care of you, kind of a piece of me that I try not to let it come out all that often. Yeah. So you know, that's it. I wanted to take care of you. I wanted it to go smoothly because I know how important it is to you. You know, I mean, I think I would like to think that if it was like you had your tonsils out, I would still want to do this. But, you know, at the same time, this was a super important thing, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I wanted it to go as smooth. I wanted it to be as successful as you wanted it to be, you know? Yeah.
What do you remember
I
about?
probably nagged you too much about scar care.
Probably. What do you remember about when I got the bandages off?
I cried. I know.
Yeah, you cried. I didn't cry. I didn't know if I was going to cry or not, but you were crying. I was like, "Are you crying?"
Yes. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Like, I'm not crying.
Yeah. No. I because I knew how much you wanted it. It was important to me because I knew how important it was to you.
Yeah. Michele also drove me to my first testosterone shot, so she's been there for like all the big stuff.
That was fun. We had fun.
That was fun. We had a good time on that trip because we had to drive to Boston. Yeah. So that was our first like road trip together.
Yep.
Road trip to Boston. So
we did that a couple times, didn't
we?
And
then a few more times after that. And then I only had to go like once a year. Now I go to Concord. So okay, last question. What's one of your favorite memories of us together? There's so many options.
I know. I think those trips to Boston were really fun.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's something that you and I did together. It wasn't like we were in. It was something that you and I did together. It wasn't something where the three of us with Eric, you know,
right, like vacation or bowling and things like that. That's like the three of us.
Yeah. But to have that time with you, know, like we went and ate at what's the Wahlburger? Remember we went there?
Wahlburgers, yeah. Wahlburger, something like that. Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty good. Yeah. Or
going in CVS. Did we go to
Target? The big Target, yeah, the 2-floor Target, because it was right across from them. Yeah. or even just like our lunch dates
Yeah.
before I started working with Eric.
Yeah. I mean, just that time, those things, to be able to just spend some time and see what was going on in your world. And, that was good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I missed that.
I know. Well, now we're going to be back in Keene, so.
It'll be exciting.
In the post-COVID world. And resume lunch. Of course, I keep forgetting Fritz moved down the street. I'm like, where's Fritz?
I know, it's not there.
I left for 9 months and all these things changed. So.
But yeah, now there's a Jamaican place there.
I know. Oh, interesting. Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask? Excuse me.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if you have
I don't. I to be honest, I didn't even think about questions for you.
I just throw it back towards you if you wanted to tell me.
No, but it's been interesting, right? Because I learned a lot through your story, and now I can say, we were at work and somebody had used the wrong pronouns for someone, and I am adamant about that and how important that is, and I do my best to try to support other students that are going through transition. I mean, people in general, but obviously students are who I have the most contact with.
Right.
And I always think it's interesting. I have a coworker who's like, she has an adopted son that's trans. And I'm like, wait, time out here.
Adopted. Is that Robin?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Yeah.
Well, she'll either say a foster or adopted kid, and I'm like, it's none of those things are true. None of those.
Kid, just say kid, like everyone else.
So
that's so funny. Oh my gosh.
But I mean, it's good. It's to know somebody who's gone through it. Now I know how important certain pieces are. And I think everybody's got a different story, right? Right. I mean, everybody's experience is different, and it's all the way that works. But it's helped me, I think, be able to try to offer support to people too. So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this was a good conversation. I think it's really interesting. So.
Yeah.
I'll sign off the video, but I won't sign off the call, so we can still talk after. Just so you know, I'm not going to be like, and bye everyone, hang up on you.
No.
Hope that you guys enjoyed this conversation. If you have any more questions, feel free to leave them. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Who knows? I'll probably share this on Facebook too, because it's a good conversation. So I hope you guys are having a good week, and I'll talk to you next time. And now I have to figure out how to stop recording. Stop recording.